You know, guys, before we begin yet another outworn sketch that follows the same formula as all the others before it, I wanted to address something.
Oh, wonderful. Once again, starting the video right off the bat with a segment that solely exists to waste time. Go ahead then, Sunset Shimmer. Let's get it over with.
Interestingly, that is exactly what I also wanted to talk about. I've been using the downtime between this sketch and the last to reflect on all of the episodes we have performed up until now. And I realized something about them.
That we are so much more entertaining than the retarded main six and their stupid ominous plot?
Actually, quite the contrary. At least in Equestria, they actually have a plot. Here, all we ever do is the same shit. Even pointing it out is nothing new anymore, because we already did that before as well.
Well, I for one think that we're still better off without following an active plot. Or have you forgotten the disaster that was our magic last plot? If we can even call it that, because honestly, it was less a consecutive plot line, rather than a series of sketches that just happened to move some overarching plot along.
She's right about that, cause in the episodes themselves, we mostly did only do one thing. Complain about each other. And ever since that plot ended, we haven't been doing anything much else.
I don't think we ever have at all.
Come on, that's not entirely true. There actually is one other thing we used to talk about way at the start of our human series, which was completely overshadowed and forgotten with the start of our storyline.
Are you referring to the gaming aspect of our sketches?
Yeah, that seems to have gotten entirely lost.
Alright, I understand. Some way to make big fuss about nothing. If you wanted to have us talk about Elden Ring, why didn't you just say so from the start?
Well, actually, I don't really want to. But since you mentioned it already, sure, why not? Let's talk about Elden Ring. Good idea, Twilight.
Of course. However could I have resisted this masterful level of cunning manipulation?
So that's no joke. We're really gonna talk about Elden Ring?
I mean, like Sunset said, sure, why not? I don't see a reason why we shouldn't.
How about because the game is one of the most overrated pieces of shit that's been released the past year?
Oh dear, here she comes again with the most eloquent of critiques. What rubbed you the wrong way about Elden Ring?
What didn't? First of all, after making a character, you get thrown into the world without any kind of tutorial. After the first boss monster just instantly kills you, you go out to this Limgrave place and are left completely alone. And that first NPC you meet there, he's just a fucking douchebag. Only once I accidentally attacked him and now he's permanently hostile, always killing me when I get near him. That is some bullshit game design, honestly.
Hold on, are you talking about White Masquerade? Fluttershy, you do realize that he is not an enemy, and he would only trigger his aggro if you attacked him at least 3 times in a row. I know this, because I killed him when he wanted to force me to invade other players.
Okay, maybe I did attack him intentionally, but I had my reasons. That fucker dared to call me maidenless. And nobody tells programmer Skiller 2000 that she has no bitches. Needless to say, I dropped this piece of shit game after dying for the 15th time to that asshole.
Yes. I see, you did make sure that you would get only the most refined of experiences. And you could not have reloaded an older save game, or in the worst case, start over.
Of course not. Not after wasting that much time.
You mean the 20 minutes of intro before getting to him?
Yeah, plus the 2 hours of trying to fight that prick.
Well, judging by Fluttershy's experience, I think I myself made the right call to not even try to play it. Nevertheless, I did buy it. Why? Why would you buy a game that you don't even intend to play? Because it's the new hype release. Everyone's buying Elden Ring. Or has any one of you not bought it when it released? Alright,
Yeah,
I did also buy
I
it.
admit it.
Everyone
said it was
what
gonna
all
be
that
good.
ruckus was about. I bought it as an asset in my collection of things everybody hypes to death. Interestingly, next to Dying Light 2, this one's the only entry on that list that did live up to its hype. Unlike Cyberpunk at release, or No Man's Sky.
That's really a word rarity. I was so relieved when I got to playing Elden Ring and realized that FromSoft had not lost its way. All in all, 2022 is looking pretty good when it comes to hyped-up game releases. 2 of the most hyped games that were years in the making did deliver.
Whatever you say, Sunset. I'm not gonna be satisfied with this year's gaming releases until they finally get a move on with that fucking Tsushima PC port. Like, fuck this console exclusive bullshit. I'm not buying a fucking PS5 just for one game, no matter how good it is.
Well then don't. I don't think Sony gives a fuck if one person more or less buys their consoles. But coming back to Elden Ring, it's true that I also bought it.
I hadn't played a Souls title before, and I did know they're said to be hard, but I thought to myself, how hard can it really be?
Well, I got my answer when even the tutorial boss in the Cave of Knowledge killed me the first time. To be fair though, I was still getting used to the weird keyboard controls.
Don't tell me you didn't use a controller. You gross.
You know, normally I'd call you a gatekeeping piece of shit for saying that, but in this case, I can't really deny it. Somehow it felt completely different from, say, Sekiro. Not sure why, though.
I think what threw me off the most was that limited stamina, but mashing doesn't really work in this game.
Well, but you did at least beat him, right?
Yeah, second attempt. But when I got into Limgrave, that's when I called it quits. But not before getting my sorry blue but handed to me at least 50 times by that golden knight.
Oh, you mean the tree sentinel? Holy shit, yeah, that guy is tough as nails. Honestly, he also made me give up on it.
Same, yo.
You do realize that Elden Ring is an open world game? That tree sentinel is hard, no doubt about that, but he's not meant to be fought right away. He literally is positioned right there at the start to tell you, go around me and explore a little first.
You can go around him? I thought he blocked the entire road.
But you aren't forced to take the road. Neither are you forced to follow that guidance of grace immediately.
Though you would be wise too. I for one did realize that I wasn't forced to fight the sentinel, so I went around into that Stormvale castle.
That's where I met this game's leveling up mechanic. That pink-haired, one-eyed waifu called Melania.
Melania? No, wait. Melania is the Blade of Mikola, that one-shot boss with her scarlet rot that everybody calls one of the hardest bosses in the game. Rightfully so. But you're thinking of Melina the Finger Maiden.
Melania, Mikola, Melina, Millicent. Who the hell is supposed to keep track of all these names?
Well, no matter. At least now, unlike these others, I at least am no longer maidenless.
That's cool, Twilight. And so, did you go back to defeat the Tree Sentinel?
Yeah, you know, at that point I didn't really see a reason to go back. I mean, the castle was right before me. So instead I advanced further, and after carefully sneaking through the castle, I came across the yellow boss fog.
Oh my god, I know who's lurking behind there.
Indeed, Margit the Fell. And holy fucking shit, this asshole can seriously suck my dick!
You're what? Can girls even say that? 'Cause we're kinda lacking a dick to suck.
I think we can. It's just an expression after all, and it gets the point across.
Still, it just don't sound right.
It's sorta universal from what I've read.
I don't even want to know where you read that.
Well, I read it on Reddit. But it's true. Whenever I'm met with some hater, I always tell them to suck my dick. That's just how you communicate on the internet.
But we're not on the internet right now.
I always am.
Okay, I think it's best we simply leave it at that. Anyway, so I think it's safe to say that you fought Margit more than just once?
More than I care to remember. He really fucked my shit up with his delayed swings, leaping attacks. Not to mention that fucking light magic shit he throws every time I try to heal. I must have died about 50 times before I finally decided that I wasn't gonna beat him.
So Margit managed to make you give up on the game?
Yes, I've put these foolish ambitions to rest.
Nice one. All right, as many might have already guessed, I as well began playing Elden Ring, being the gamer girl I'm known for from the show. I got quite far, I would say, beat Godric and Ranella, as well as Starscourge Rodan, though I did employ the help of every summon I could find. Currently, I'm stuck at fighting that Godskin Apostle in the Spiricoler's Cave.
Wow, the name Godskin gives a really good impression of how tough that boss probably is.
He is, no doubt, and I do end up dying every time. But I must confess, the first 10 or so deaths weren't even from actually fighting him. Instead, I was just amazed by the musical score of this fight. The first few attempts, I didn't even fight him. Instead, I just ran around the arena while listening to that epic choir. Honestly, I find it really cheap of FromSoft to add in that additional distraction with this amazing music, as if the Apostle himself and the noble following him weren't hard enough already. Now I can't even focus on fighting them because I'm totally taken with their theme. But say, Twilight, one thing about what you said made me curious. You mentioned the names of Melania, Mikola, and Millicent. How come you know these names when you gave up at Margit?
Well, isn't it obvious? The same way every normie who can't beat it themselves experiences Elden Ring. I'm watching a Let's Play.
I see. All right, there's nothing wrong with that. As well as with the fact that you all gave up on the game, but at least you tried it. This game just is not for everyone, and not everyone has to play it.
See, and that's where you're gravely mistaken. You and your entire arrogant community of gatekeepers. A game that is not made for everyone should not even be made in the first place.
To leave it sight. I don't think I ever heard someone say something that was so colossally wrong.
You didn't even play it yourself, so shit your twat.
Good now, and you know why? Because I knew that it would be too hard for me. I bought it on principle. But I'm not so foolish as to believe that just by buying a game, I earn the right to success. That's not how it works.
That is exactly what I mean by this toxic mentality. The moment you say anything against their views, you're met with contempt and disgust, no matter how rightful my claims are.
Well, the biggest problem is that they are simply not.
Oh, fuck you. This elitist gatekeeping is making me sick.
But honestly, can I speak an honest word of truth for a moment? I think gatekeeping is one of the most important things any community has to do.
What do you mean by that? Isn't gatekeeping just acting like an asshole to people who don't devote their entire life to their fandom?
For some, maybe even for most, that might be the case. But I for one view gatekeeping as a way to prevent your favorite thing from becoming corrupted. Just look at what happened to any Disney property, to major game series like Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty. All they care about is pandering to a stupid political message, and why do they do that? Because true fans allowed lunatics to enter their midst and speak for them, being the loudest voices in the crowd.
While that is a very one-sided point of view, and no doubt just you being a mouthpiece for Robotus' personal views again, I can't deny that it doesn't entirely lack truth. But the opposite is also not wrong. Fluttershy, I'll be honest, you are not entirely wrong about the Souls community. The way people are acting when invading someone, just sitting back and waiting for them to be distracted, is really cheap. Not to mention all the fake messages in front of walls or cliffs, the latter are always surrounded by bloodstains. I also exclusively play without any co-op, because that feature in itself is anything but user-friendly. The entire multiplayer aspect is a fair point of critique that Elden Ring does not really shine with. Even for veteran Souls players, just getting into a game with friends is a chore in itself.
Thank you, Sunset. At least for once you showed actual integrity and admitted you were wrong.
Still, I wouldn't want to play it in offline mode. There's a reason the messaging system has been a meme machine ever since Dark Souls 1. I remember one, in Roundtable Hold, in the back room where the apparition of Dung Eater is sitting. Someone named Zombo the 28th placed a message behind him, directly at his rear. It reads, "Be wary of Rump. Poison ahead."
Yeah, that's pretty funny. My personal favorite was a historical joke. Before a guillotine, someone wrote, "First off, noble, and then try monarch." I get it. Because all rich people are evil and must be dealt with. A little extremist, but basically, yeah.
Or how about this one? This one's a real laugh. Try finger butthole. What?
Fluttershy, if we had wanted to just recite the oldest meme in the FromSoft book, we would have said that straight away. Robotus intentionally wanted us to say something new.
Once again, being the real MVP, Fluttershy. Good on you.
Screw you guys. I'm gonna go play Minecraft.
What did she say? Minecraft.
Wasn't Fortnite always her thing?
No, wait, it wasn't!
It just came to me that in the very first sketch in our world, Fluttershy distinctively said that she doesn't play Fortnite, that she'd never touched that mainstream shit.
Oh, right, so it was actually Pony Fluttershy who was into that game. Damn, you would think Robotus would keep a character sheet so he wouldn't constantly mix us up with our counterparts.
Well, just add this contradiction to all the others on the list of things that don't make sense in this universe because Robotus doesn't keep track of things. Instead, he just makes up new shit whenever he realizes that he's forgotten something. And the worst part is, he now thinks that us acknowledging this issue absolves him of any responsibility to clean this mess up.
Well, it's like old Mr. Enter used to say. What I'm doing is wrong. I know it's wrong, but I'm just gonna do it anyway.
So there's also no use for us to keep complaining about it. It doesn't change a thing.
Probably not. So, what now? Is there anything else we can talk about? I mean, we were finished with Elden Ring, weren't we?
In Grunda, yeah. But honestly, I don't know if there is anything else to say. With Fluttershy already gone, we can't lose ourselves in another discussion about her depravity.
Almost seems like we're truly at the end.
Hey, that's a good cue! How about you tell us an ending joke, Applejack? It's been a while since the viewers got to hear one.
I don't know. Does the trademark the other AJ instituted also apply to me?
Who gives a shit? Just make us laugh.
All right. Okay. What is the most infuriating thing about PC culture?
Oh geez, this one can only be good. So what is?
The unreasonably high prices.
What?
Prices. As in electronics. Get it? I made it sound like I was just gonna give another conservative rant, but instead I made a wordplay. PC, computers.
We get it, Applejack.
Really? But why aren't you laughing then? Not even the laugh track.
Do we really have to unravel you this mystery? It wasn't funny.
No,
it actually
not
sounded
It was
pretty
basically
bad.
nothing but a stupid wordplay.
Oh, then just go to hell, the lot of y'all.
Come on, you don't seriously believe you were funny there, do you?
No, I don't. I actually was just as disappointed in this joke as y'all.
Noon, you can definitely see why Robotus dropped the ending jokes for as long as he has. Every time he attempts one, he is reminded that he simply doesn't have a good sense of humor.
True. Why does anyone even still watch this shit?